Sean Shoemaker, and I am your narrator for today's ceremony. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you all as we celebrate the career accomplishments of Master Sergeant Nicholas Hunn. During today's ceremony, you will be given cues to stand and be seated at the appropriate times. As a reminder, during the singing of our national anthem, military members should stand at attention, and our civilian guests should place their right hand over their heart. At this time, we ask that all electronic devices be silenced for the duration of the ceremony. We will begin in a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our official party, the singing of our national anthem by Master Sergeant Tundra Barnes and the invocation offered by Reverend Dave Vosseler.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good afternoon. Before we begin, this is not a Christian ceremony, but at the same time, as your hosts, and in accordance, I believe, with mixed wishes, we want this time to be glorifying to God. So Paul tells us in Romans, rejoice with those who rejoice. So we're here to rejoice with Nick and his family today. And we're also told in Romans to pay to all what is owed to them. Respect to whom respect is owed, honor to whom honor is owed. And so we've gathered to show respect and honor to Nick for his many years of service. With that in mind, will you pray with me? O great God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, we gather today declaring that you are our help in ages past, our hope for years to come. And we come today to fulfill your word, to rejoice with those who rejoice, to give respect to whom respect is owed, and honor to whom honor is owed. So we gather to celebrate your faithfulness to this airman, our friend and our colleague, Master Sergeant Nicholas Hunn, as he concludes his years of service in the United States Air Force. Thank you for calling Nick to this role, and we give you all thanks and praise for his years of sacrificial service and for his family who have supported him and sacrificed with him as he served. Indeed, this afternoon we give you thanks for all who have served, sacrificing in so many ways to secure, protect, and defend our country. May you continue to raise up men and women to follow in their footsteps, and bless those here that continue to serve. Watch over them, protect them, guide them, and when necessary, use them as your sword and as our defenders. Now, O Lord, we pray your blessing upon this ceremony and upon the next area of service that you are calling your servant to. May you be glorified, and may your servant Nick be both encouraged and humbled at your grace to him. Go with him and bless him in every new endeavor. Grant him your wisdom, protection, and provision in the years to come. And we pray that you who began a good work in him will carry it on to completion in the day of Christ Jesus. Lord, would you bless us all with strength, wisdom, and perseverance, that we may continue to serve you, our nation, and our world. And we ask all these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, Master Sergeant Barnes and Reverend Vossler. We gather to pay special tribute in recognition of Master Sergeant Nicholas Hunn's retirement, culminating a career of 20 years of distinguished and honorable service to the United States Air Force and our great nation. We are privileged to have several special guests here with us today. Please hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Sergeant Hunn is joined by his family, wife, Mrs. Lydia Hunn, daughter, Cora Hunn, son, Calvin Hunn, daughter, Lottie Hunn, daughter, Vera Hunn, daughter, Penny Hunn, father, Ken Hunn, mother, Terry Hunn, and brother, Master Sergeant Matt Hunn, retired. We would also like to take this opportunity to welcome our distinguished guests in attendance. Colonel Benjamin Youngquist, Commander, 480th Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance Group, and his family, Tracy, Caleb, Anna, and Hattie Youngquist. And finally, we would like to welcome all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, friends, and teammates who have come to celebrate Sergeant Hunn's retirement. Thank you for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to introduce today's presiding official, Colonel Benjamin Youngquist, Commander, 480th Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance Group, Fort Gordon, Georgia.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming out to join us to celebrate Master Sergeant Hunn and his retirement. Special thanks to Ken and Terry and Matt and Nami for coming out. So glad to have Lydia and Cora and Calvin and Lottie and Vera and Penny out here to be part of the celebration today. Thank you to all the joint team members and airmen from the 3rd and all the other members of the congregation who were able to make it back to celebrate and be part of this great celebration today. Also want to pass my special thanks to Master Sergeant Barnes for that great rendition of the national anthem. Thank you, Reverend Vossler, for blessing us with the invocation, and thank you for all the people that worked behind the scenes to bring this ceremony together. These things don't just happen, and you made it look flawless, so thanks for all that hard work as well. So it's my honor and privilege to take part in this celebration of Master Sergeant Nicholas Hunn's retirement after 20 years of dedicated service to the United States Air Force. I'm going to take a little bit of time just to walk through some of the history that got us up to this point. It would take us days to walk through all the amazing stories of Nick and his service to the Air Force. So I'm just going to scratch to the top. We'll have a chance to chat more in the reception after this, but as we'll go through, we'll just highlight some of the key contributions that Nick and the Hunns have made for the Air Force family here. So Master Hunn joined the Air Force in April 2006, leaving Kentucky, and selected to be a cryptologic language analyst during a critical time in our nation's global war on terrorism. And so, he was high marks and was selected to go after a very difficult language and made it look flawless, being a top graduate within his class out at DLI. He was also an honor graduate at Basic Military Training in San Antonio, and since he outperformed and did such a great work at DLI, he was selected to come here to Fort Gordon, or Air Gordon as we like to call it here, and get right onto mission. So arriving here in 2008, Nick quickly jumped on the mission, earning a 3.3 for his proficiency right out the gate. And so we've got a long history of high performance here, but a lot of folks aren't ready to hit the mission right off the ground as they come straight from DLI. But Nick ran right after it and wasn't satisfied just to earn high proficiency, but he also used that time to expand his technical prowess and move it out. So his work was directly supporting our joint and coalition partners in harm's way during critical times in Iraqi freedom and enduring freedom. He was making sure that our troops got critical information both for their force protection, but also to identify and get after our enemies that would cause harm to our nation and our freedoms. His stellar performance led to his leader selecting him for senior operators course while he was still a senior airman, and be put in charge leading at that level of other joint performers out there as well. Because of his recognized leadership, he's also selected to do additional language training, pick up some new dialects, and then go into specialize in digital network tradecraft as well. As a geolocation signals analyst, he continued to lead even as a senior airman, and because of his strong leadership, it was a no-brainer for the Air Force to pick him early on to transition from being an airman tier to go straight into be an NCO as a staff sergeant. While he was doing language training and picking all this other things up, though, he continues to serve outside of the uniform as well. So while he was going through additional tradecraft training, in his off hours, he'd come back in on mission to make sure that the people are being taken care of for that. He made sure that he was also reaching out to some of our other sister units that aren't co-located here, that don't benefit from the partnerships that we have, getting them spun up so they would have additional tradecraft, but also bringing them into the family so we had a tighter team to protect our airmen in harm's way and the wider joint force as well. Finally, he also volunteered his time not just for mission, bringing other organizations up, but also directly he was paying back into his community. So he volunteered for youth programs in the local church. He drove fundraising efforts for orphan adoption agencies, and continued to move both the Air Force family and the wider community forward. So as a new staff sergeant, because of his great relationship, the Air Force continued to put more responsibility on him, picked up new dialects, and also was selected to pick up a new language, bring a new capability here that we didn't have because the mission shifted over time. He also, as Odyssey Dawn kicked off in North Africa, he shifted without any challenge and started picking up that relationship to do that support as well. But again, a consistent message, a consistent theme. It didn't matter what he was doing on mission, he continued to excel, but he was also building into his community, stepping up to do more time teaching Sunday school, serving on the education board for the preschool, and then doing fundraisings for the local community, doing shoebox for shelters, all while the Hunn family continued to grow and thrive here in the Georgia sun. So the family continued to grow. A young Master Sergeant Hunn mustache continued to grow from airman to NCO, and but in good nature, all this reward for all this hard work just means the Air Force is going to pile more onto it. So we, as an Air Force, decided to reward this master language analyst, this master geospatial geolocation systems analyst with doing another language, not even in the same area. So we sent him back to DLI so he could pick up French and follow an assignment to Germany. So lots of thriving here in Georgia. Going to a new language and a new theater can be challenging to some people, but Nick, again, continued to thrive without any problems. So he jumped right in, mastered new processes, new targets, new threats to our allies, provided critical intelligence to support not just the Department of Defense, but also sensitive diplomatic efforts that were going on with the Department of State and larger national security challenges as well. But even there, consistently is building into his community. So he almost single-handedly covered the holiday party fundraising one year by standing up a squadron mustache competition. And but again, his continued growth in the NCO tier, his continued expansion, working at greater levels and bringing multiple commands together, meant that the Air Force continued to reward him with ranks and promotions. And so picking up Master Sergeant quickly and being a select, no good turn goes unpunished. He got selected to come right back here to Fort Gordon and move things forward, back on site. So the Hunn family moved back to Georgia just before Tracy and I got back here, or came here the first time back in the summer of 2018. And so as we were getting ready to get moved, leaving Fort Bragg quickly and getting set up here, Nick was one of the first NCOs to welcome Tracy and us into the 5th, meeting Tracy at the doors, trying to get food together for the change of command. And really that continued outreach and building in the 5th in his time back from being in Germany was critical to moving that squadron forward through some turbulent times and really helping me to survive or thrive as a squadron commander. And so we were going through some challenges at Fort Gordon in the 5th. Early in my command, my first sergeant immediately got orders to go to Belgium, and so I needed to pull another first sergeant in. So I pulled Master Sergeant Kincaid up from being the SEL for the cybersecurity office, and without dropping a beat, Nick stepped in to do that joint process, leading a large organization that later became a division and doing it flawlessly. But in all things, flexibility is the key to air power. I got Master Sergeant Kincaid spun up, got him to First Sergeant Academy. He came back just in time for all the other squadrons in the 48th Group to retire PCS or send their first sergeants on skill bridge. And so I was the only squadron on Fort Gordon that had a first sergeant, and my squadron only had 140 people. So I had to give Master Sergeant Kincaid up to support the larger Air Gordon initiative. Nick was a no-brainer to bring in to step in as my additional duty first sergeant, and it was a great choice. And we went through some challenging times, both on transition. The 5th was a much larger squadron, and we had to split it in half. And so that movement of identifying personnel for shifting, making sure that we had the communication, and making sure we were taking care of them was a big lift in the relationships and the easy conversations and the trust that Nick built as his first sergeant was critical to that transition. Whether it was identifying airmen that had family or financial challenges, or whether it was, when commander of HCC was out for a visit, and one of our airmen, dropped and had a medical emergency in the midst of the visit. Nick was, always on the spot to take care of our airmen, to take care of the mission, and make sure that, we throve as an intel squadron in the 5th. And so because he was doing so great within the 5th Intelligence Squadron, the 480th Group had a new challenge where the crew advisor also went to skill bridge early, and there's a vacancy. So because of his leadership, because of his flexibility, because of his ability to work with airmen and move things forward, I couldn't hold on to him in just my little squadron, and it was good for him to be able to move up and do that work at the group. So Nick knows people, he knows processes, he knows how to bring a lot of things together. And so he worked on refining those processes, connecting to resources to our nearest Air Force base, which is in Sumter, South Carolina, 2 hours away, automating those processes, and then really meeting with airmen to make sure that they understood what their choices were. Do I need to shift to a new specialty? Is it time for me to transition? If not, what are the things that I need to do to advance and continue to move on? And he made these processes smooth and seamless just in time for COVID to hit, and we all had to go into lockdown and be isolated. But because of his foresight and his ability to work with the technology, didn't skip a beat during COVID, during lockdown, continuing to support our airmen. And he also prepared 5 other sites to be able to do the same so that they could take the same lessons learned that we had here. And so through all that time, coming back out of COVID, we did some reorganizations here at the group before I came back and shifted out what the 3rd and the 31st looked like. And because of these shifts, it was time to get another strong tactical leader with good understanding of people and processes back on mission. And so Master Sergeant Hunn left the group, went into the 3rd, and continued to build teams using his vast language skills to bring new analysts, new linguists up on step, identifying different opportunities for where there were gaps, and getting people additional training to make sure that they were going where the mission led, and bringing a lot of different teams spread out all over our large campus together so they had a strong identity, had strong collective care for one another, and with a lie to, retiring himself, making sure that even though he's going to leave a huge mark when he departs, making sure that those leaders behind him, making sure those airmen behind him were prepared to step up and continue to thrive as he moved on to the next step. So the leaders that you have forged, the teamwork that you have forged within the 3rd and within the site will continue long after you. And I'm so thankful to have served with you as part of a command team in the 5th, and so thankful to have become back here in Georgia to serve with you again as you end your Air Force career. And so I've only scratched the surface of all that you've done and contributed to our Air Force. But as the psalmist said, Nick, you have truly been like a tree planted by streams of living waters. Your leaves do not wither. You've brought forth fruit in due season, and everything that you've done, you've prospered. So I pray that the Lord will continue to be gracious and bless you and the wider Hunn family as you continue to serve in this next chapter, and that we continue to take your legacy, continue to take the team that you left behind to keep moving the force forward. Know that even as you move on, you've always got a family here in Air Gordon, but also know that the mission will continue to thrive because of the deep roots that you built within it. Without further ado, though, you've heard me blab long enough. Let's go ahead and move on with the ceremony.
Thank you, Colonel Youngquist. Master Sergeant Hunn will now be presented with the Defense Meritorious Service Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of the medal and remain standing for the reading of the retirement order.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that the Secretary of War has authorized the award of the Defense Meritorious Service Medal to Master Sergeant Nicholas K. Hunn, United States Air Force. Sergeant Hunn distinguished himself by outstanding meritorious service as section-level senior reporter, Directorate of Operations, National Security Agency, Central Security Service, Georgia, from July 2023 to May 2026. During this period, Sergeant Hunn directed mission requirements for more than 20 joint service and civilian personnel, providing target knowledge and analytical expertise for multiple operational elements in support of the National Security Council and the National Defense Strategy. Specifically, he oversaw the production of over 600 reports and disseminated unique strategic insights related to democratization, economic stability, and global competitor influence within the African continent. Additionally, Sergeant Hunn led his team in safeguarding more than 1,000 deployed United States forces during a withdrawal from a contested area, providing vital intelligence to combatant command leaders. Furthermore, he served as a senior analyst and led partner exchanges during a hostage situation. enabling direct intelligence to foreign partner agencies that delivered critical insights pivotal to bringing the hostages home safely. Finally, Sergeant Hunn executed duties as a flight chief in the 3rd Intelligence Squadron, leading 45 airmen across 3 strategic national security agency missions, fueling direct support to United States Africa Command response operations to mitigate influence operations and hostile government takeovers. The distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Hunn culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself, the United States Air Force, and the Department of War. We will now proceed with the retirement portion of the ceremony by reading the formal retirement order. Please remain standing. Colonel Youngquist requests permission to publish the order.
Publish the order.
Attention to orders. Department of the Air Force Special Order number AC-007389, dated 29 September 2025. Master Sergeant Nicholas K. Hunn, effective 31 May 2026. You are relieved from active duty. 3rd Intelligence Squadron, Fort Gordon, Georgia. Retired effective 1 June 2026 per Air Force Instruction 36-3203 in the grade of Master Sergeant by order of the Secretary of the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Colonel Youngquist will now present the retirement certificate and a certificate of appreciation from the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force to Master Sergeant Hunn. The retirement certificate reads, "From the Armed Forces of the United States of America to all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Master Sergeant Nicholas K. Hunn, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the 1st day of June, 2026. Signed, General David W. Alwyn, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, and Colonel Benjamin Youngquist, Commander, 480th Intelligence, Surveillance, and Reconnaissance Group." Colonel Youngquist is also presenting Sergeant Hunn with a letter of appreciation from the President of the United States. At this time, I would like to ask Lydia to join Master Sergeant Hunn and Colonel Youngquist on stage. Lydia will now make this retirement official by pinning the retirement pin on her husband. This pin is to be worn with pride. It signifies to all that the wearer has served his country well and honorably and earned his retirement. At this time, it is our honor to present Lydia with certificates of appreciation from the Chief of Staff of the Air Force and the Chief Master Sergeant of Air Force. Lydia, the United States Air Force would like to extend its grateful appreciation for your own unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Your unwavering support and understanding allowed Nick to make a lasting contribution to the nation and its security. Undoubtedly, this support was often complicated by unique challenges, but his retirement today is a testament to the resilience and strength you have demonstrated as a family. It is with the deepest appreciation, admiration, and respect that we present you with these certificates commemorating your years of dedication and support to the Air Force family. At this time, I would like to ask Cora, Calvin, Lottie, Vera, and Penny to join your parents on stage. Colonel Youngquist is presenting each of Nick and Lydia's children with a certificate of appreciation for the dedication, commitment, and numerous sacrifices that allowed their father to serve faithfully in support of our nation's defense. Thank you for providing strength and purpose to your father's service. Thank you, Colonel Youngquist, Cora, Calvin, Lottie, Vera, and Penny. Sure, why not? And now, Master Sergeant Hunn wishes to present his wife with a token of his appreciation for the years of love and support she has shown him. Thank you, Lydia. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Aziza Boyce Hawkins will now make a special presentation on behalf of the airmen of DOX, the Jackal Revenant Flight.
Thank you for supporting me throughout the journey. Didn't know our senior NCOs, they are the backbone of the Air Force, and they help ensure that our company grade officers are leading the right way and the best that they can. So thank you, Sergeant Hunn, for helping me navigate this journey, helping me with this new flight commander. I'm still learning how to be a flight commander, and as our flight chief, really helped me. You really helped new flight chief, Sergeant Barnes, with navigating the journey as well. So we appreciate you. We know that you love the law. So this gift has Senior Airman Gallagher did the honor of helping us put that gift together. He helped with the layout and everything. So yes, we appreciate you. Thank you for your leadership, your amazing 20 years of service, and I wish you all the best for your retirement.
Thank you, Lieutenant Boyce Hawkins. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Sergeant Tundra Barnes will now make a special presentation on behalf of the senior non-commissioned officers of the 3rd Intelligence Squadron. All 3rd Intel Squadron senior NCOs, past and present, are welcome to join Sergeant Barnes on stage. It's okay.
Well, Sergeant Hunn, you have been an amazing leader. You're a servant leader. Every time I think about you, I just think about someone who's reliable.
Thank you, Sergeant Barnes, Senior NCOs of the 3rd IS, and Sergeant Hunn. Ladies and gentlemen, the 40th ISR Group Honor Guard will now fold the flag of the United States of America. The United States flag symbolizes the very freedom we all enjoy because of your dedication and the dedication of those like you, Master Sergeant Hunn. We ask that you all please remain seated and draw your attention to the retirement flag folding detail as they bring forward our nation's flag. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been the symbol of our nation's unity, as well as a source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor. White signifies purity and innocence. And blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words of the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag so inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space when Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle the globe and on the fin flash of our aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The world never sets on our U.S. Air Force, nor on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans has been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive fold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we, as Americans, enjoy today. The United States flag represents who we are. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it wave. Master Sergeant Hunn, on behalf of the United States Air Force, we wish to present to you what is known as the military's members' most honored and cherished possession, the United States flag. The flag which we honor and serve under is the true emblem of our unity, our thoughts, our power, and purpose as a nation. Accept it, protect it, guard it, and always remember that the young men and women you have trained, guided, and inspired will follow in your footsteps and defend it with equal pride. On this occasion, we consider ourselves fortunate to have served alongside a true leader, and also sad that our time serving together has come to an end. However, it is at this time that we recognize that society is gaining an exceptional civilian. We extend our warmest wishes to you and your family as you begin your retirement. Good luck and Godspeed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you Master Sergeant Nicholas Hunn, United States Air Force, retired.
Well, thank you all. Look out and I see a lot of family, friends, coworkers, fellow airmen. I know there's a live stream going on, so hi to whoever's watching, the one or two of you out there. Thank you for coming out to celebrate with me and my family my retirement from the United States Air Force. I really appreciate you all being here. Appreciate everyone who planned the service. Thank you, Tech Sergeant Shoemaker, for doing a great job as the MC. Sergeant Shoemaker is one of the best analysts I've ever worked with, in case you weren't aware. Thank you for the Honor Guard, all of the airmen who have helped set this up. I know you guys have put a lot of work in it. I appreciate especially Senior Airman Etheridge, Senior Airman Butler, and Master Sergeant Barrientos for heading this up. You guys did an amazing job. Really took all the stress off of my back, and just, I didn't really have to do anything for this other than show up, which is how I prefer things. Thank you to Colonel Youngquist. I appreciate you saying all those kind words about me, sir. Thank you for being an example of leadership over the years, and I appreciate you and Tracy and your family for being good friends as well. I'm glad that it worked out that you were able to do this for me. I'd like to thank my family who paved the way for me to be here. I come from a military family. My grandpa and my dad were both in the Army. I have two brothers, retired Master Sergeant Matt Hunn, who's here with us. Also Chief Master Sergeant Andy Hunn, who's stationed out in Guam right now. They both joined before me. I remember going to basic training to see my younger brother Andy graduate, seeing both him and Matt in uniform and thinking, there's no way I'm ever going to do this, right? And it's kind of funny how life works out. I wanted to take this time to recognize my parents as well for the sacrifice that they've made to our nation. So they had 3 sons, and we all enlisted in the Air Force, left to serve our country. And what did that mean for them? Well, it meant missed birthdays and holidays and periods of no visits when we were stationed overseas, and numerous other sacrifices. I know none of that was easy. Sorry. I told myself I wasn't going to cry, but, the shortest verse in the Bible is Jesus wept, and we're in a church, so I'm in good company if I do. Yeah, thank you, Mom and Dad, for being supportive and understanding, even as you made those sacrifices. I love you guys. I just want to give them a round of applause. Also wanted to thank my wife's parents, Jeff and Nita Schroeder, who are probably watching right now, or they will soon. Thank you for letting me take your wonderful daughter away for the past 20 years. Promise I've treated her well. And a note to any suitors of my daughters, don't do the same. They're very happy here in Augusta, so yeah, that's just a note from me. Wow, 20 years. It's hard to believe that it has flown by so quickly. This part of the ceremony always seemed kind of funny to me. You're giving the retiree who is leaving and has nothing to lose to the freedom to say whatever he wants, right? That sounds like a bit of a dangerous game. I guess we'll see how it turns out, right? So over the past few weeks, I've been kind of trying to reflect on my service, reading through old awards that I've gotten, looking at old pictures, and some of them you've probably seen, rummaging through all the random things that I've collected over the years, and just generally trying to figure out what do I say in this moment, right, during my brief time up here. Thought, should I share some stories from my service? I've been privileged to be part of some amazing teams and work some tremendous missions in the Air Force that have contributed to our national security and steered foreign policy. But most of those details that would be interesting are classified, so I'm not going to talk about that. Also thought, should I try to distill some leadership philosophy that I've picked up over the years, my 20 years or almost 20 years of leading airmen. But I'm not trying to make myself or you fall asleep, so I'm not going to do that either. So as I was ruminating and rummaging, through my old Air Force items, I came across something that caught my attention. And honestly, I don't even know why I still have these, but I'll pull them out. These are my BCGs, right? And the prescription is still pretty much the same, which is surprising. It's been 20 years. So I look nice, right? Yeah. These are the glasses that were issued to me at basic training in 2006. They're appropriately named BCGs, which stands for birth control glasses, right? Because as the idea goes, no woman is going to want to be with a guy who is wearing these, right? But as you saw with my kids on stage earlier, these didn't work, right? So I brought them back out of retirement, one day only, just for you, Lydia, right? I'll probably leave them on. Maybe 9 months from now, I'll have that 6th kid I've been wanting, right?
Sure.
But these glasses, right, are a weird glimpse into how my mind works. It reminded me of what has always been the most important thing to me during my Air Force career, and that's my family. Right? So Lydia and I just celebrated last week our 20th wedding anniversary. Our marriage was the reason why I enlisted in the first place. I was just a single guy out there, right, meandering through life, trying to figure out what to do with my time. And then when I put a wedding ring on her finger, it gave me a new mission, right? Now I was a husband, a provider, a future father. So that was the reason why I joined the Air Force, to learn a new skill, to get some benefits, to provide for my family. The original plan was to serve for 6 years, to finish my bachelor's degree during those 6 years, and then to get out, to go to seminary and to be a pastor, right? But what happened 6 years? I didn't finish my bachelor's degree, and I had 3 kids. So just had to keep going, right? Proverbs 16:9 says, "The heart of man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps." And that has been a very comforting thought for me. There have been times over these past 20 years when things have not gone the way I envisioned them to go. At least once a year since I became a senior non-commissioned officer in 2018, I've come home telling Lydia that there's a new assignment open or a new special duty available that I want to apply for. So in other words, I've come home at least once a year and stressed Lydia out for probably a week. But she's always been there to point me back to what's important, and that's my family, right? She would ask, do we want our kids to have roots? Would it be best for them to be pulled away from this community? Do we really need more money? And of course, after a little bit of protest, I was always realized that she was right. And looking around this room at the community we've built, it's here in Augusta, she was definitely right, and I'm thankful for the choices that I've made. So, speaking of family, let me just take a few minutes to thank my family. Okay, Cora, my firstborn, self-proclaimed favorite child. You're a diligent, faithful young woman. Can't believe I have an adult child, right? You've made these 18 years a complete joy. Really, everybody says the teenage years are a nightmare, but that's not what I've experienced. Like, you've all been great. Calvin, my only son, you're a natural leader, turning into a godly young man. Proud of you guys. Lottie, my fellow middle child. You're one of the most loving people I know and such a loyal friend. Vera, my reading buddy. So thoughtful and kind, and you have an amazing imagination, and you just make me feel special. Penny, my youngest child, you were born last. No. I'm just kidding. So Penny and I have a similar sense of humor, so I always have to rag on her a little bit. Penny, you are keeping me young by constantly being on the move, and you always make me laugh. You're hilarious. I'm very proud of all of you. To my beautiful wife, Proverbs 31, 10 through 12 says, an excellent wife who can find? She is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. Lydia, you've been with me through it all, and I'm excited for the new chapter that we get to build together. The other day, I told one of my daughters that she was going to get a certificate. I think it was Vera. She was going to get a certificate thanking her for her support to me over the years. And she asked, why are you thanking me? Aren't you the one that supported us? And I said, yes, dear, that's exactly right. But I'll answer that question a little bit more seriously now, Vera. When we think of America, we tend to think of ideals enshrined in our founding documents, right? Our God-given rights, freedom, justice, equality, checks on tyrannical government, etc., right? I'm thankful for all those things, but what we sometimes neglect to emphasize is that America is a people, right? The people are what motivate my service, and that people starts in the four walls of my home and then extends to my church, my community, my state, and my country. So, family, you are the reason I've served and the reason I plan to continue to serve in some capacity as a civilian, right? So, I just wanted to spend this time thanking you, thanking all my friends, my family, my coworkers, for being there for me over the years. And that about sums it up. I'm going to go start growing my beard. I'm going to learn how to play golf again. It's been a while. So, God bless America, and Christ is King.
Thank you, Nick. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the Air Force song and departure of the official party. This concludes today's ceremony. On behalf of Master Sergeant Hunn and his family, I would like to thank you all for attending. Everyone is invited to join us in the fellowship hall to congratulate Sergeant Hunn on his retirement and enjoy a reception with refreshments. Thank you so much for attending. Well done, sir. All right. Is your cover up here, by the way? Yeah. It's been a cover up here like the whole time.